When Stewart started his shift that morning, he expected nothing more than a typical day on the job. Before we continue, please take some time to subscribe to Dailydose, like, and share this video. After all, sewer clogs were a routine part of his work, dirty, thankless, but predictable. That's why, when a report came in about a widespread drainage issue affecting several city blocks, Stewart thought it was just another oversized hairball or grease buildup clogging the system. He grabbed his tools, threw on his gear, and descended into the city's underground pipe network with the calm confidence of a man who'd seen it all before. But what he found down there would turn a routine job into a police investigation, a media frenzy, and a story he'd never forget. The tunnels were quiet at first, damp and musty as always. Stewart moved carefully through the maze of pipes, shining his flashlight along the concrete walls. The first section seemed normal, nothing out of the ordinary, just some pooled water and the usual stink. But as he ventured deeper into the system, the water level began to rise rapidly. Whatever was blocking the system was holding back a massive amount of pressure. It wasn't long before he saw it. A large greenish mass lodged tightly in one of the main pipelines. The water couldn't pass. The pressure was immense, and Stewart knew he had to act fast. He rushed back to the surface, pulled out the extraction hose from his truck, and began draining the water. Slowly, the water level dropped, revealing more of the strange object. At first, Stewart thought it was some kind of oversized pool toy, plastic, inflatable, and completely out of place in a sewer. But something about it tugged at his memory. He'd seen this before, just not here. When the water finally cleared, recognition hit him. It was an inflatable expansion device used during sewer maintenance to prevent tunnel collapses. But something didn't make sense. None of these devices were supposed to be in use. His company owned most of them, and he knew for a fact that every single one was safely stored in their warehouse. He checked the inventory system, confirmed it. Nothing was checked out. Then he checked other local contractors. Same thing. Nothing. That's when a chill crept down Stewart's spine. Someone had planted this device on purpose. But why? And how had they gotten hold of it? Could it be someone trying to redirect water? Or maybe keep something or someone out? He grabbed his phone and called the police. Within minutes, 3 officers, Stevens, Waddle, and Santiago, arrived at the scene. Stewart led them down into the sewer, explaining everything as they walked. When they reached the blockage, the officers exchanged uneasy glances. This wasn't just odd, it was suspicious. Officer Stevens, taking the lead, asked Stewart if it could be safely removed. He nodded but warned that there could be significant water pressure behind it. Cautiously, they began the slow process of loosening the device. When they'd made enough progress, Stewart checked the pressure again. Nothing. The water pressure was abnormally low. That could only mean one thing. There were more blockades further along the line. The realization set in quickly. Someone had intentionally sectioned off parts of the sewer system. Officer Waddle voiced what they were all thinking. They're trying to dry out a specific area. The implications were massive. Determined to uncover the truth, the team pressed forward. With Stewart guiding them, they navigated through the tunnels, encountering more blockades, each one placed with calculated precision. Oddly, at each junction, only one path was blocked while another remained open, almost like a breadcrumb trail inviting them forward. As they moved deeper, Stewart noticed the walls becoming drier and the air less humid. The area had clearly been sealed off for a while. That's when it started. Faint sounds echoing off the concrete walls, mechanical humming, indistinct chatter. The noise was growing louder, and it seemed to be coming from somewhere ahead. Stewart froze. He wasn't a man who scared easily, but something about those sounds felt wrong. Tricia, ever composed, tried her walkie-talkie, but the signal was dead. "Looks like we're on our own," she muttered. Stewart remembered a manhole nearby that could get them a signal, and the group continued on. But the deeper they went, the louder the strange sounds became, like whispers and static blending into a low, ominous hum. Then they turned a corner and stopped dead in their tracks. Before them was a massive underground chamber. Stewart had passed this place before. It was part of an older section of the sewer system, but now it looked completely transformed. High-end surveillance equipment filled the space. Monitors, computers, listening devices. Cables snaked up through holes in the ceiling, drawing power from buildings above. "This wasn't here before," Stewart said, barely above a whisper. The team moved slowly through the room, stunned by what they were seeing. Surveillance monitors displayed live footage of city streets, parks, and intersections. Audio feeds crackled in from hidden microphones. This was no ordinary hideout. It was a full-blown intelligence post hidden right beneath the city. "Someone's been watching the whole town from down here," Officer Santiago said in disbelief. Tricia quickly took control. She ordered the group to split up and search the area for any clues. Stewart obeyed, sifting through documents and equipment with growing unease. After just a few minutes, Officer Waddle called out. The others rushed over. On a desk lay folders, detailed plans, schematics, photos, and notes. Tricia flipped through them, her eyes widening with each page. "It all makes sense now," she said. "They're planning something. Something big." Before she could call for backup, they heard footsteps. Stewart's heart jumped. Tricia ducked behind a stack of monitors and motioned for Stewart to follow. He crouched beside her, holding his breath as a group of 7 people entered the chamber from the far side. Their voices echoed through the chamber, calm but focused. "Is the path ready?" one asked. "Yes, I'll do one final check," another replied. Stewart realized the danger immediately. They had tampered with the blockades, and if these people noticed, the team would be exposed. Trapped, outnumbered, and unable to communicate without being heard, the officers stayed hidden. The group began discussing their plans: jewelry stores, bank vaults, security codes. They were orchestrating a major heist, using the sewer system as their secret pathway. Tricia leaned in close and whispered, "I'll take care of this. Trust me." Stewart nodded, barely able to contain his nerves. The criminals continued talking until someone burst back into the room, Roger. He looked panicked. "One blockade's destroyed, another one's moved." The group froze. Roger's voice was tense. Then, without warning, Tricia stood up. "Now!" she shouted, and the other officers revealed themselves, weapons drawn. The room exploded into chaos. Luckily, the criminals' plans were dismantled before they could strike. Thanks to Stewart's quick thinking and the bravery of the responding officers, a potentially devastating citywide heist was stopped cold. In the weeks that followed, the investigation revealed just how close the gang had come to pulling it off. Each blockade, each wire, each tunnel segment meticulously placed to create a hidden highway beneath the city. But all it took was one man doing his job to unravel the entire scheme. For his part in the operation, Stewart was awarded a Medal of Honor by the mayor, standing proudly beside the officers who trusted him when things didn't add up. What started as a routine service call turned into one of the biggest criminal busts the city had ever seen, because someone dared to question what others might have overlooked.